Tell you where I'm not cool with, and I just think it's a huge, colossal waste of money. Let's stick with the 370, the 790 positions. Right above it here, we have a credit call spread at $480. So this doesn't take effect. Nothing happens with this. It's like they're throwing a dart at a dartboard with a blindfold on, and then they hit the outer rim here and they get $480. Yeah, that's going to be the credit call spread. Hello, YouTube. Thanks for joining me today. My name is Mike. This is Health and Wealth. Today's Friday. We're almost at the weekend. A pretty darn good week on the stock market this week for the ETFs and the shares that I own, and I want to go over those with you today. I also want to talk about how Misty and Mr. are doing, as well as Bitcoin, and then also my biggest holding is NVDY, NVDY, and NVIDIA. Talk about their weekly calls. Discuss the credit call spreads with you, see if they're worthwhile or not. I'd like to go over that with you today too. But first of all, before we really get started, I just wanted to say thanks so much for being here. I appreciate that you tune into my channel every single time the video comes out. So huge props to you. Much appreciated. But let's get into it here. I had a chance to kind of go through a few different things, and I wanted to cover those with you. So first thing I want to look at here is MicroStrategy is the company that has a 1% stake in Bitcoin. They've recently purchased $2 billion worth of Bitcoin. They are aiming at buying another $2 billion worth of Bitcoin. Michael Saylor is all over it. He's all over it on Twitter. He is all over Bitcoin. He's been all over Bitcoin for as long as I can remember, right? So this company is, doing very well right now with the rise of the Bitcoin price. So you can see here, Bitcoin just today at this time of day is up $2,500 in one day. We're hovering around that $90,000 mark. If you take a look at the last 5 days, it did get there a couple times over the $90,000 mark here. Here's 92,000. And then there's 91,000, right? So it has got there a couple of times over the last 5 days here, but Bitcoin doing very well. Mr. doing very well too. Definitely, if you take a look at the last year of Mr., it's been an incredible climb of 552% so far. Now that can change, obviously. Past performance doesn't meet future performance. So who knows what's going to happen with the future, right? Bitcoin, everybody talks about Bitcoin winter in 2026 and cycles of Bitcoin and this sort of thing, right? So will this wave ride forever? Probably not. And but I mean, if you have a large conviction in Bitcoin, then MicroStrategy could be the company for you. For me, I'm a little bit priced out of MicroStrategy. It's above my budget. So I'm invested in an ETF called Misty, MSTY. This is a play on MicroStrategy, covered calls, synthetic options, things like that. And Misty's been doing very, very well for me. I'm actually just going to share this screen with you. I recently sold my own covered call on Misty. My average cost on Misty is $26.31. You can see that down near the bottom of the screen down here, right here. And I sold a cover call at $34 strike price. And because I did that, I earned $80 in premium. And, since then, Misty's been going way up. So I'm thinking, oh man, was that a bad decision? But I'm sticking to my good decision because it's well above my average cost. And I'm happy with making money, right? And so if that does get sold on December the 20th, I've made money, and I'm happy with that. So what did I do with the $80? Well, you can see right below it, I bought a company called Rocket Lab, rocket company, number 2 rocket company in all of the land. They just obtained some massive new contracts, something about a neutron. Pretty impressive. And so I bought that at $13.45 before their earnings. And I only bought 5 shares, so that $80 bought me 5 shares worth. Since then, it's gone up. We're talking 5 shares here, right? We're not talking like I backed the vault up here. But since then, it's gone up quite a bit. It's now at $18.76. So I'm pretty happy with that purchase. I do plan on buying more. I'd like to get to 100 shares of it because I think, it's got a strong future. They're doing incredible. It's very difficult to fly out of Earth, and they're doing it. They're doing it, right? So Rocket Lab, they're doing very, very well for themselves. Now, this is not stock advice. This is not advice to you at all. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm actually the opposite of a financial advisor. Everything I buy is usually trash, so don't follow me. I'm just spending my money on what I think is good, right? So this video is going to be talking mostly about Misty and NVDY down here. I just wanted to share what I have with you so you know that I'm actually invested in these two funds. So I have 300 shares of NVDY. I stopped buying that maybe 3 months ago. And I've just been using the dividends from NVDY to purchase shares of Misty. And so far I have 173 shares of Misty. But I don't know what the future is of that because 100 shares could be called away if the share price of Misty is $34 or above come December 20th. And whatever happens, happens. I'm good with it. I'll tell you what, though. The next dividend that comes out from Misty, I'll be buying more shares of it. It's most likely going to be above my cost average right now, which is $26. And I'm okay with that. But whenever Misty pays its dividend, I'm going to be buying on the ex-dividend date. So just before they pay out their dividend. And a lot of people use margin out there. For me, I'm in a tax-free savings account, so I actually cannot use margin on this account. And I don't really want to use margin on this account. I'm not here to just have a quick investment that just makes me tons of money right away. I want to be able to average into these things. So for me, what I'm going to do, let's just say Misty pays out $3, right? Random number. And times that by the 176 shares. I'm just going to take that money from my bank account, bring it over to my Quest Trade account here, buy the shares with the same value on the ex-dividend date, and then next month I'll reap the reward of that. And that's my plan with Misty over the next 4 to 6 months. We're going to be doing that. Any extra cash, I'm not too sure what to do with it, but you'll notice here, Coney, if you're a longtime subscriber, I used to have just 3 shares. So I bought 7 more here on the ex-dividend date of Coney. It ended up bringing my average cost down to $15.81. So, yeah, I think for me, the top 3 funds over at yieldmax is Misty, NVDY, Coney, for the pure fact that they've been paying out incredible dividends since its birth in yieldmax. What's the 4th one? I don't know. YMAX, maybe? YMAX could be good too, right? So I'm trying to build a little castle here, just a tiny castle so that I can retire. And so far, NVIDIA's been doing really well. Misty's been doing very well so far. Coney, not too bad at all. Yeah, I'm planning on adding more shares to Coney here. Right now, it's only 1% of my portfolio, whereas Misty is 41%. I know you can't see that because my head's in the way. And then NVIDIA's 52% of my portfolio. So I wanted to really talk to you guys today about this. So this is yieldmax's website. I wanted to go over the call action from the fund managers over at Misty and get your opinion on it as well. So let's take a look. They have a synthetic option for $315. This expires, multiple months from now, February 21st. I'm gathering they gained a massive premium for that call, that synthetic option, sorry. Being, what is it, 3 months and 6 days away. They must have earned a ton of cash for doing that. I see here that we have a call for next Friday, the 22nd. And we also have, let's just get the calendar out here. When is next Friday? Yeah, the 22nd. Okay, perfect. So, yeah, let's take a look at what we have here. So, I'm going to start at the bottom. There's your synthetic option. Looks like we have a call here for $430. Now, this is a huge position, 26,545. $430 right now. Mister's trading at 332. So it looks like they're anticipating a continued run here for MicroStrategy for Bitcoin. I'm okay with this, right? That's $100 more than what the share price is right now. I think that should be safe. I mean, who knows what Bitcoin does over the weekend here next week, but $100 over, that should be safe, right? The next one is a smaller position, 790 here. This one expires the same date, $370. I think that should be safe as well, right? If this MicroStrategy runs up $40, that's really good for your share price. Also not too bad there, right? But the 430, that's $100. Can you imagine your share price on Misty if Bitcoin and MicroStrategy ran up? Your share price on Misty should also go up to that $40 range if that happened, right? Ifs and buts, what's and nuts. So, I mean, those are great. I'm cool. I'm totally cool with calls that are far away from the current price of the underlying stock. I'm cool with it. Let me tell you where I'm not cool with. And I just think it's a huge, colossal waste of money. Let's stick with the 370, the 790 positions. Right above it here, we have a credit call spread at $480. So this doesn't take effect. Nothing happens with this. It's like they're throwing a dart at a dartboard with a blindfold on, and then they hit the outer rim here and they get $480. Yeah, that's going to be the credit call spread. Do they really think that they need a call spread $110 more than their strike for their call? Hashtag waste of money, right? And then the next one is even further, right? So let's take a look here at the bigger position, $430. Like we said, it's $100 out right now. I mean, maybe earlier in the week it wasn't that far out, but their credit call spreads at the top of the screen here at $530. So they must not have had to pay too much money for that. Now that's the bonus, but what they're doing is saying if the share price of MicroStrategy gets to 530 or above, this will make you money. But it's not making you any money at 530 unless the price of the underlying gets there. What are they doing? What are they doing, right? Why is it so high? So, you know what? I put my money in this fund to let them run the fund. I'm paying them 1% of the money that I receive. And these credit call spreads, I think, in my opinion, are getting out of hand. Now, I could be wrong, but that is outrageous. So why are we going so far out? And in one of the interviews with Jay, I asked that question, and he said the reason we do it is, to protect that upside and for you to get that money, even if the stock price or the ETF goes way up, right? Okay, cool. But why not make that 530, 470, 460? Then we still have a $30 upswing, which can help the price of the Misty ETF. But when we go to 530, that is almost out of reach. Bitcoin would have to do one of like this right here. Bitcoin would have to do this multiple weeks in a row. It could happen, right? So, you know what? I'll eat my words if it does happen, but in my opinion, that is far too high. It is a waste of money. Bring it down, get it closer to your strike price so that it actually does something for us. That's my opinion on that one. Let me know in the chat if you think I'm far off or if you agree or you don't agree. It's cool. It's cool. Either way, all good. But that's just my opinion on that one. So Mr. itself, 333 right now. Misty right now, so close to my strike price of 34. It's at $34.56. Now, if Bitcoin keeps doing this, then my strike price should be blown out. And I'll have to go repurchase those shares at a higher price, potentially. But I mean, yeah, if Bitcoin keeps doing that, we see here that we have tons and tons of room to grow, 370 and 430. So that leaves us with a lot of upside potential. As long as Bitcoin and Mr. keep going up, then that share price should go up as well. That's the hopes and dreams of everybody. Now, if I go back to my trading account here, I still have 73 other shares sitting right here. So I'm cool with it going up. I like it actually. Keep going. Keep going, right? How much do you think the dividend's going to be? I'm going to stick with like 350, just a total guesstimate. But this time next week, we will be, a lot of you will be collecting your Misty dividend. And so I'd be happy with 350. That way they don't pay me from my own money. And they pay me from money that they've earned. That's what I'm hoping for. So yeah, 350, that'd be great for me. I know a lot of you are probably thinking $455, but yeah, we'll see. So guys, that's my rant on Misty. I hope I wasn't too harsh on the people running this fund, but I feel like we could do better for sure. Let me talk about NVDY now. NVDY is my biggest holding. I have 300 shares of NVDY. Big fan of Nvidia itself. They have earnings coming up here shortly. And, rumors on the street are it's not going to be as good as the earnings before or the earnings before that. When you are arguably the biggest company in the world and you have blowout earnings 2 earnings ago, it's tough to plateau and move up from the earnings that you had 2 times ago. It's tough to maintain that sort of momentum from 2 earnings ago. I remember the last earnings like it just happened yesterday. Everything was up. Everything was up. They were like, "Oh yeah, we're doing better than before. We're doing better than this, better than this." But the share price went down because it wasn't as flashy as the one before. So that's something to think about here. In order for the stock price to go up, it seems like it needs to be flashy and say, here's what we're going to do, here's what we have done, and here's what we made. So the flashier, the better for these earnings. And NVIDIA isn't really like a super flashy company to make that kind of splash out there, right? So odds are that it does go down a little bit in share price come earnings, but I bet you after that, who knows? Maybe it goes up. That's what happened with the last earnings, right? It went down for a couple of days, and then it worked its way back up. So since the last earning, let's go to last 3 months here. When was that earnings? Probably around August here. So 117-ish. I bet you this was it right here. And that dip down to 102. Now we're at 141, right? So since then, it's been 49%. It's come up 49% since that time. So if you're a NVIDIA holder, you got to be happy with that. NVIDIA itself just kind of hanging out, right? Just hanging out, staying stable. NAV price 25.24. My purchase price on NVIDIA is $28 is my average share price. Let's go take a look to make sure I'm right. Yeah, 28.71, so closer to $29. But I'm happy with NVIDIA and NVIDIA because they've been paying me dividends every single month for the last 7 months. I'm at the time done buying NVIDIA because I'm just taking that dividend, putting it into Misty, to Coney, any extra cash buying some of those growth funds that I think are going to do really well over the years here. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. Within YieldMax's website, they put all their eggs in one basket. I had eggs for lunch, by the way. Delicious. How do you like your eggs? Me, I'm easy. I like it anyway. I usually go over easy for like lunchtime, but whenever it's the weekend, I'll do scrambled or omelets, things like that that the kid will like. But yeah, lunchtime I just try and make a lunch super fast. Eggs are fast, 30 seconds and they're done. Maybe a little bit more, but yeah. So let's take a look at NVIDIA here. They have a credit call, or sorry, my goodness, they have a synthetic call for February 21st, same as Misty here at $148. Nvidia's price right now 141, so they're a little bit underneath that. We'll find out how much more above or below they are after the earnings call. And then we also have just one option here of $155 that expires today. So, and, look at the shares, 93,340 shares on that. So they want the share price to stay under 155, and so right now it's 141. So odds are it will, unless some sort of craziness happens in the next few hours here. But good job. I'm happy with that. Now, I'm gathering they had a credit call spread in here at some point. They may have closed that already because it wasn't close, but that seems to be the trend, doesn't it? That they make these credit call spreads. So let me know. For me, I think my top two are NVDY, Misty, not in that order. For ETF paying high yield, dividend paying distribution, all the words, all the finances, all the money. So those are my top two. I am going to start adding more to Coney here because I mean, it's been consistently paying out. The only downside to Coney is its downside. Um, with its share price. So it just skyrocketed up for a couple of reasons. It just had its earnings. Coinbase just had their earnings. There wasn't a great earnings, but also the price of Bitcoin has helped propel that as well. So yeah, I'm gonna start adding more to Coney here. Right now, I'm a 1% holder of Coney in my own portfolio. So we'll bring it up to 10% over the next few months here, and then we'll continue to add to Misty, and then we'll see what the fourth one is after that. But that's my plan. I'm looking forward to being able to use this money for retirement, but I think I'm a long ways away from that. For me, I got to buckle down, budget down, and spend less money on Costco. Costco. You guys ever go to Costco and it's like the yellow sign? You're like, oh, I need that in my life. 13 pounds of yogurt. Something wild like that. But yeah, that's the plan. I just wanted to say thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you have a great weekend. That's going to be it for the video. My name is Mike. Hit the like button. This is Health and Wealth. Bye for now.